It's really easy to be as gentle as a dove,
Mm-hmm.
even as hard as it might be in some situations. If I know that I am always called to be gentle as a dove, then I understand that in every situation, I have to roll over and take it, and I have to be gentle. If you tell me to always be wise as serpents, I know that I always need to have one eye open in every situation. But when you tell me to do both at the same time, now we've got a challenge on my hands, because now I don't know when to be which, and really it's not even, he doesn't say be one or the other, it's be both at the same time.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Being cautious.
It feels like telling somebody to be hot and cold at the same time. They seem like opposites.
Yeah, and I
What am I
don't,
supposed
I
to do,
don't
put my
know,
feet
I don't
in
know
the-
that they are opposites though.
I know,
I
yeah.
think they, but
We think
in
of
our
it because
mind,
of the
they are.
viper and the
Yeah.
dove.
Yeah.
Be cautious and kind.
I think that's
Cautiously kind.
cautiously
I like
kind.
that.
I think that's
Man, I was
Man, you're on a
roll
roll
today.
today. I'm telling you, man.
two of my favorites. I love these crackles and I love the good wars.
Nestle Crunch crackle.
I love that.
And so it is rice though, right? It ain't nuts.
I think it's like a
I don't
Rice
know.
Krispie kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a Rice Krispie.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
Those
meant
crackles are
rice.
good though. To me, they remind me of, Nestle Crunch, and then sometimes it reminds me kind of like a Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
I like a Kit Kat. Those are good. And Mr. Good bars are good too. And but I still,
Let me try
I
one
know
of
we
those.
can't put them in the East 80s, but man, I tell you what, I've gotten where a payday is about to become one of my favorites.
Oh, it's got
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Payday kind of came late. I never did really.
You don't like peanuts?
I do, but I like a Snickers better.
I do too. And you know they got pecan Snickers too. Now, pretty good.
I'm a sucker for any chocolate peanut combination.
Yes, salt.
me
Chocolate
too.
peanut butter, chocolate peanut.
I'm a
anything.
salty sweet guy,
Love
man.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't throw
Those
enough.
peanuts I got from Mackie Perry, the chocolate.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh man, those blister fried peanuts. We need some more of
Mhm.
those.
Yeah, we do. Make you a trip.
I'll since you're in the money, I'll
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
some.
I'll buy a carton.
They're pretty
Can you
high.
get a little? I mean, I reckon I can swing you $10. Can? They more than 10?
Add another zero?
No,
A carton?
man.
You
For
said-
one of those
That's
things
not a
like
carton.
that.
That's a just.
That's what I'm calling a carton.
Oh, okay.
Well, what do you call it? A pack?
One serving around here.
Half a serving.
Call that
That's
snap.
whatever a pack
I
is.
mean, they go on as soon as I.
That we ate that day in here. What how much is that?
Oh, the big. Just a.
Just a one container.
Probably $10.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I'll slide you a 10.
Ooh, chocolate.
Not right now. I don't think we got it, but I'll Venmo it to you. I ain't got cash on me.
Yeah, you. When are you going?
Going when? What?
April.
Oh, down to the coast,
No, that's not what I'm talking about. When are you,
Tennessee.
Yeah, that's the one.
Tennessee's when I'm going on the 20th.
Okay, 20.
Yep, got to go out to Nashville.
And where you going? The other one?
Down to the coast somewhere.
Anywhere?
Down to the coast somewhere. I'm not telling anybody too much.
I got to tell you a funny story real quick
Myrtle
before we get going too much.
We're going to Myrtle, Dirty Myrtle.
Dirty Middle.
Dirty Myrtle.
That's where we because we didn't have a whole lot of money. We got married. I didn't have a job. Renee didn't have a job. Actually, I got married, graduated college on the same weekend.
Wow.
Saturday, Sunday.
Then went honeymoon at Myrtle Beach.
That's all we could afford.
Just stay at somebody's place. Or did you have a place?
No, Ocean Sands.
Oh, Ocean Sands. That's still down there too. I
It's
believe.
probably pretty dirty by now.
I think they've probably rebuilt it by now.
Okay.
I think if it's the one I'm thinking about, there's so many big ones down there now.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
They'll probably tear them down, build a bigger one.
well, we're staying at Cherry Grove this time because then they got some high rises out there, man. Like the Jeffersons. Moving on up, baby.
Does Burness have a condo down there at Cherry Grove?
He does. He does. His is right there at Barefoot Landing, behind the Shark Restaurant. Greg Norman's.
I don't. I've only been to Myrtle Beach once, and that was then.
You only been back like for y'all to go back just to
I had been back to see a show. That's about it.
what at the Alabama Theater.
Christmas show. I got an email today,
Right.
not or a couple of days ago. Renee's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz,
It's a really
and I can get tickets to go there at Pembroke,
yeah. No, not Pembroke. The one up in the
University of
mountains.
University of Pembroke.
Oh, Pembroke. Okay, UNC Pembroke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For $50 a ticket anywhere, and it's a real small theater. And these are
Is it a movie or is it a play?
to play.
Oh,
I like.
I
I mean,
can't believe you can't find it somewhere close by.
you can for 3 times as much, I'm sure.
The Roswell Theater ain't that.
Now, this is traveling.
Oh, okay.
This is not that.
Oh,
These are
off
professional
Broadway,
actors.
off Broadway.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
yeah.
This ain't Deepak, but one step below
I
Deepak.
think they can be. I think
Right?
they
Hey,
are.
poop up it. Now I
I
love
think
the
they are.
Deepak.
Well, it's just too many
people.
people in high dollar now.
Well, they get you in and out pretty quick.
Yeah, $300 a pop. They ought to be
I mean,
taxed
you ain't gonna go see too many plays.
fly me in.
You have to go see like Phantom of the Opera or something.
That would be kinda high. I've already seen it, but I mean, I'm just saying, saw it up in Boston.
I think it's too bad.
The Christmas, Carol has gotten high. I ain't gonna do that anymore.
Ugh. You talk about the most overrated thing. I went one time and I was like, I'll never come back to this. I think this is terrible.
I went there probably about 20 times, and I thought it was great.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm
Even
serious. I
with
had
the
I was a member of the
to
Broadway.
me it was so much about Scrooge making it about himself that I was like, this is not even.
Well, that's the story.
No, it's not. The Scrooge is not trying to be funny and making himself the star.
Well, that's what keeps it going.
Yeah, well,
Actually,
that's why I didn't go.
His son is doing it now.
Yeah,
His
maybe
son
that's
was
why I
better,
didn't keep
thought.
going. I don't know. I might have been in a bah humbug mood,
Yeah,
but I did not
you're
hit
still
the feels of, oh, this makes me feel like Christmas.
you're still upset about your salary.
This
That's rude.
this made me feel. I don't know. It was so much political in it because it's a political
he
year.
brings it year
And I was like,
okay.
okay, this is dumb. If I want to do this, I'll watch Fox News and CNN and laugh at both of them and do it for free at
I
home.
can't watch either one of them
Well, like I said, you laugh at both and just kind of
because
shake your head.
one's over here and one's over here, and the truth is right here.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's like, but you know what? If you don't watch the news, then you're misinformed. If you do watch it, if you don't watch it, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed.
Right.
But if you do watch it, you're misinformed.
Then you know what though? I have found sometimes being not informed is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I know there's probably a social responsibility that I'm not upholding here, but Heather used to make fun of me for how out of touch I was with the news.
Right.
But because something big would happen like last week and somebody'd say something to me about it, I'd be like, do what? I didn't know about that.
What's
I
this?
get like that.
But
I've been.
The older I've gotten, the less guilty I feel about not knowing what's going on in the world. I'm fine not knowing what's going on in the world, honestly. I mean, it's too many things out there can make me mad or make me worry or make me whatever.
No, listen, right now, everybody I talk to and everybody that I do a lot of either counseling or just catching up with, or what I like to say, anytime I do any real talk with anybody, every last one of them, between gas prices, the war in Iran, whether the economy seems to be slowing or not slowing, everybody seems to have this whole stock market coming down, or everybody seems to have this whole anxious / tense / everybody's just kind of holding their breath, like, what's going on? And I'm almost to the point of, no, that it almost is a thing of, no, I'm gonna trust the Lord that I don't have to watch the news every night. I want to know what's going on in the war, what's just as long as things are happening. But man, if you sit there and watch it long enough, you're about ready to say, is God dead? Where's the hope? And that's what they want you to do. And so,
they sell fear.
yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
And so I'm, as I look at the scriptures, there is no fear. How many times does Jesus say, fear not, Fear not. And so that's where, as you watch these things, you just got to know, where does your hope come from? Just meeting with some folks a little while ago, and I know they're going through a whole lot. And I had to tell them, look, go look at what David did at Ziklag when he lost everything. He strengthened himself in the Lord. And that's what we have to do as well. Even when these reports come up, even when things don't seem to go right, you got to know where your strength is, and you got to know where your hope is. And it's not in yourself, and it's not in, okay, if the stock market goes up tomorrow and I can get above 50,000 points at the Dow Jones. No, it is found in Christ and Christ alone.
Yeah.
So, and he was here long before Dow Jones, and he'll be here long after Dow
Well,
Jones.
that's the Christian point of view, but, it's all about the money
Sure it is.
in this world.
But
People
that's
do
the
a
world.
lot of things.
But that's the world. Now, I started it with people I'm talking to in counseling and everything else. They're born again, or at least claiming to be born again. So you would hope that they have the right focus, the right thing that's driving them. But unfortunately, I think too many times we function too much like the world.
We
And
all I agree with you
well, I mean,
110%.
the sermon Sunday was totally opposite of what the world says. The world says, "Oh, if you are somebody, you're served." The world says, "Oh, if you're somebody, you have people under you." And Jesus flips the worldly standard on its ear and says, "Mm-mm.
Well,
If you are going to be a spiritual leader, then you better be a servant."
let's talk about before the sermon,
Okay.
the welcome.
Uh
You said
huh. What'd I say? 4 years ago.
no, you said there was a good-looking pastor.
Yeah, it's 4 years ago.
I
Y'all
missed
hired
the
a.
sermon because I went to look for that guy. I went
Where'd he go?
downstairs,
Yeah,
upstairs,
yeah.
because I wanted to introduce myself.
That's great.
I told you a while
Mm,
back, I went back and watched one of your first couple of sermons here,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Good gracious, this place has put some gray hairs on me."
Yes,
But
they have.
I think
They've
that was
aged
at 2
me.
years when I watched it.
Well, and I will say this now, to my defense, and again, I will stand by this. Uh, 2 years ago, we didn't have those bright lights. Those
Mm,
bright lights bring out the gray.
I could see that. Yeah.
It really does. If we would go back and didn't have it, people be
Yeah.
like, "Wow, he's been coloring."
so
Yeah.
you are the good-looking guy, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Don't you remember that?
Well, I tell you,
Yeah.
I think you're in denial.
You you went on a,
Uh,
you went on a small little, I don't know, 2, 3-minute monologue, I guess, on the, fathers serving in
mm,
your household, and I'm sitting there the whole time. It's just me and Gabe in the sanctuary. The younger two are at children's church, and I'm just sitting there like I could feel him just like glaring inside of my head the whole time. And when I finally looked over at him, he's like, "See,
mhm,
you
mhm.
serve me. You're
Yeah,
supposed to serve me."
well, hey,
I said, "Now listen." And we got
yeah,
out
you're
there.
getting that backers kid
I
up.
said, "Here's the thing." I said, "Yes, I serve you. You serve Reese and Christian." He said,
Yeah,
"No, I don't want to do that."
yeah.
I said,
Or
"Yeah,
or
that
better yet,
sounds."
just keep
Yeah,
on going a little bit more
yeah,
when it comes to the children.
yeah. But
Yeah, but
he
but
was,
but when I'm talking about being a spiritual leader, it's a whole different ballgame.
yeah,
And so I did. I enjoyed the sermon Sunday. It was one of, I think it hits hard because, hey, it calls us to be a servant, and that is always, it's convicting
yeah,
because it is to me. Is, am I willing to do some of those menial tasks that, or do I consider myself above that?
yeah.
Because, well, hey, look who I am. No,
Well, I love the
Jesus
story that
didn't.
I love the story you shared about the kid throwing up everywhere at
Oh
VBS,
man,
because that was one of those that I there's a lot of these times in our lives, I think, where you sit in church on Sunday and you read and hear about what Jesus did, and you think, "Oh, yeah, that's a good way to act."
right.
And then you get out there on a Tuesday or Thursday, whatever, and
What
something
does it look
happens,
like?
and you get faced with one of these situations where it's like, actually, if I'm gonna do what I believe you're supposed to do, I know what I should do, but man, I don't want to.
No, I
You know what I
don't wanna
mean?
do it.
And I think sometimes, I mean, I know sometimes God will throw some of those situations in your path to I don't know if test you's the right way to even say it, but to demonstrate for you in action what it's supposed to look
I
like.
think it's test.
Yeah.
I think it's test. I think it's test or either it's, hey, are you growing?
Yeah,
It'll
test
show you.
maybe not in a are you gonna pass or fail, but test in a way for you to sometimes you learn things from the test itself, and
Mhm.
sometimes you learn it by experiencing a
Mhm.
situation, and sometimes you have to do something you don't really wanna do because it is
Mm,
the righteous thing to do is not always exactly what you're excited to
that's it.
do,
Or
but
what
that's what
God's calling you to do
yeah,
might be what you think is either beneath you or somebody else can do that.
yeah,
And let me I'm too important for that.
yeah,
Don't think so.
yeah. It sounds a whole lot easier in church on Sunday than it is in
Yeah.
the real world.
Yeah. Are
For
you
sure.
are you are you willing to Jesus put on towel? Are you willing to whatever comes your way might be
Yep.
again cleaning up or taking out the trash that nobody's even gonna know you did it.
Yeah,
Don't need a pat on the back. Don't need a hey, attaboy. No, it's just whatever.
yeah,
And nobody even asked me to do it. That's I think that's the thing when you look at how Jesus served. He wasn't asked to wash the feet. It just was a job that needed to be done. He's not looking to be rewarded because he doesn't know what I mean, you expect a pat on the back or some payment for this, it ain't gonna happen. And then number 3 is it's not based on whether they deserved it.
yeah,
Because if it was that, he would have said, "Y'all are a bunch of sorry jokers."
yeah,
One of them's gonna betray me, one of them's gonna deny me, one of them's gonna doubt me. Basically, all of you are, you know, basically foul ups.
yeah,
Well, all of
One
them
of
doubted him.
well, and all of them ran.
Thomas got he got a
He gets the bum rap.
yeah.
But all of them
Oh,
ran,
God.
all of them abandoned him. So, at the end of it, if it was based on deserving,
Yeah.
would nobody have gotten it?
yeah,
And same thing, I mean, but that same thing for us as far as salvation and
Mhm.
what he did in serving us. So,
It shouldn't be the doubting Thomas, it should be the doubting disciples.
doubting
yeah.
disciples, I agree.
Okay.
And truth be known, you're welcome. And, you're on a roll. You started off good. Usually you're in the hole. Um, but I will say think about it for a second though. I don't fault Thomas to some degree. I mean, think about what he's being asked to believe, and think about he needs to see it. I don't mean to be ugly, but I don't I
I
don't
don't
I don't beat him up too much on that. I might have been the same way.
I've never heard of anybody coming back from the dead. I
Yeah.
mean, other than what Jesus,
And
he raised people, but
the other disciples look I don't know if they looked down on Thomas, but Thomas saying, "Until I see him," they had seen him.
no.
That ain't fair. That you expect Thomas just to automatically the other ones, Peter and John had seen him a couple of times. The ladies had seen him. These folks had seen him. And so then come, the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus. They had seen him. And so,
They had seen him, didn't even recognize
yeah,
him.
and you
That's
expect
right.
Thomas just to, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna take your word for it." You want me to take your word for something that don't happen. And I can't blame Thomas in a way, but I am glad that he did.
Yeah.
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 Another,
Even though he was told he would. I mean, Jesus didn't
Well, they
hide that
all were
fact.
told that.
They just didn't get it.
No,
Yeah.
they were still thinking about, "How's this gonna work out?"
Yeah.
The kingdom is here.
Well, I mean,
We're
he
like
told
here
them,
on earth. I know.
"Oh, odds again."
But you know what? That's what he was taught.
Sure.
So that might be the responsibility the teachers weren't doing. Maybe they might not have been teaching the right thing.
But
But he was taught that
but
all
his
the time.
teacher for the last 3 years was
Yeah,
teaching
of
him that.
course. Yes. But
But
it's hard to change tradition.
but you can tell they just weren't getting it. I mean, Jesus over and over again told them, "I'll rise on the 3rd day. I will come again," or I'll but they never got that part.
yeah, I think they probably just took that as symbolic in some way. He had to be speaking in a metaphor of
I don't know what they were thinking.
something.
I mean, and it's easy for us 2,000 years later
Yeah,
and the power of the Holy Spirit inside of us
yeah,
to read the Bible and say, boy, they sure are
Yeah.
dense.
Right.
And they're not. I mean, they're
They
just
were
like
living it.
us. Yep.
Yeah, and
And did not have the Holy Spirit in them yet. There's a
and
big
we see
difference.
the beginning and the end of the story,
Yeah. We
and it
see
makes
from,
sense now.
we've got the whole book.
But when you're living it, how's that gonna work out?
They just had the first half,
Yeah.
yeah. Another
more than the first half.
one little curveball you threw. You were talking about Peter and his response to
Yeah,
Jesus doesn't want you to, him saying, "I'm not going to wash, you're not going to wash my feet." And Gabe poked me and he said, "Why did he not want him to wash his feet?" And I said, "I'll tell you in a minute."
yeah.
And then, because I kind of thought you'd probably get around to answering that, but then you went to answer it, and I mean, I don't mean to sound like, oh, I'd always know exactly what Ben's going to say. I don't,
Right,
but you
right.
don't surprise me like you did this time, usually, to where you
Once
say
in a while, I
something, I'm
will
just
sometimes.
like, dude, whoa, I hadn't thought of that at all. But you said that his response was actually arrogant,
Yeah,
and I
and it's
thought,
arrogant and, irreverent.
yeah, and I thought, man, I didn't see that one coming. But you're right, and then that was first thing Gabe asked me is, how was that arrogant? That sounded humble.
Yeah,
I said,
well,
well,
it's a
it does sound,
fake arrogance, yeah.
it sounds humble, but really what you're doing is saying that you know more than Jesus, which is about as far as you can get from
That's about as
humble.
cocky as it can be, isn't it? I mean,
But
it is basically, "Jesus, you don't know what you're doing,
yeah,
and you don't need to be washing feet, and why are you doing that?"
and that was sort of Peter's like calling card, was telling Jesus what he was or wasn't going to do, but meaning well in doing it.
Yeah,
But he did that a lot.
it was his calling card too, to just express either what he was thinking or everybody
Mhm.
else was thinking. Peter just gets credit for it, or looks like the
Yeah,
buffoon because he says it,
yeah,
and he's not. I mean, Peter was one of the guys, he just was gonna say it,
yeah,
but to basically say, "Jesus, you're not washing my feet,"
yeah,
it does seem humble, but when you boil it down, it really isn't as humble as you think it is,
yeah,
and, it really is when you get to it, it really is him saying, "You shouldn't what are you doing?"
yeah, yeah. That's
A
what he did a
and
lot
he
of,
did
and
it a
he
lot.
always
Yes, he did.
in I think in his mind exalting Jesus, he went so far with it as to think
To
he
rebuke
to
you.
rebuke in a way.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he did that
think
a
about
lot.
how many times he did try to rebuke Jesus,
Mhm.
but then Jesus would always come back and rebuke him,
Yeah.
such as, "Well, if you don't want me to wash your feet, you can't have no part of me."
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty strong rebuke,
yeah.
alright? And so
He didn't seem to beat around the bush with his responses to Peter very much.
no,
"Get behind me,
I think
Satan."
Peter was one of those guys, kinda like you have folks in the church sometimes that they're just as straightforward as they can be.
Mhm.
They probably have the tact of a sledgehammer,
Mhm.
and they just come out and they say exactly what's on their mind,
Mhm.
and sometimes it can be right hurtful,
Mhm.
and sometimes the best way to deal with people like that is to come right back with another
Mhm.
sledgehammer, not in a hurtful way, but just, because 'cause they're not gonna get it if you just I don't think Peter's one of those guys you beat around the bush and just kinda
Mhm.
hint
Yeah,
that he's gonna get it. No, I think with Peter, you gotta come out and say, "No, that phone is black,"
yeah,
and he might say it was white. "No, look at it, Peter,"
yeah.
you know?
Well, and I saw a almost entirely unrelated, but it kind of ties into that. I saw an interview the other day. I don't know when it was, but it was like a sit down 30-minute with Coach K and Roy Williams, I think after they'd both
Oh, I've
retired.
seen that, yeah.
And it was just hearing them compare. But one of the questions that they were asked or answered or something was how you handled different players differently. And that, some players he could, if he said with Tyler Hansbrough, he said, if I just insinuated that he had given a 99% effort, that was all I needed to do.
Yep,
But on the other hand, with others, it's a totally different
no,
thing.
yeah, with some you kids gloves, others you all you gotta do is just mention it.
I,
"Hey."
I can break Gabe's heart with a look,
Yep.
and I couldn't hurt Christian's feelings with a fist. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
just
I
it's a
mean, and
different.
that's it, and you think about it, if you grow up with brothers and sisters, I guarantee you neither one of them are exactly alike, even twins that are born at the same time. No, they're different, and that's what I love about the Lord, is he knows how to respond to each person.
Mhm.
That is a gift from above if you know how to respond. Because there are certain people that, and you kinda learn that because there are certain people that, no matter what you say, their feelings are gonna be hurt.
Yeah,
And then there are certain people that you gotta basically hit them upside the head
yeah,
and to get them to listen or to focus or to hear what you're saying.
yeah,
So, I love that the Lord knows, because with Peter, that's exactly what he does.
Everybody's different.
yeah.
They are, brother. They are.
I keep having to check my phone, make sure my battery's not dead. I didn't realize I got here, my battery's already down to
Oh, man.
20%. I'm like, "Oh,
Must
man,
be the
that
weather
ain't good."
change.
I don't know
It's
what it
hot
is.
and cold like a car battery.
My phone's getting to that part of its life where it's almost paid for, so it stops working. You know
That's
how they do
right.
that?
That's right. Last
Um,
Yeah,
bill.
trucks, I know about that.
Last
Yeah.
bill, that's when it starts.
So your truck doesn't get a software update when it's, right before it's
Yeah,
I think
but
they download a bug
Oh,
right
yes.
before
Yeah,
the
it's a battery
they
bug
know
or
what they're
something.
doing.
'Cause I've had batteries replaced
Yeah,
on purpose just because of that,
yeah,
rather than
Did
buying
it
a
give
new
you
phone.
a lot longer life on it?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
not on the
I
phone,
mean,
yeah.
and it would update?
Yeah, yeah,
The
the
batteries
battery
yeah,
just
Like
runs the
Apple.
motor.
Apple, you usually have to buy a computer after about 8 years because the older models will not update the new
That's it.
software.
Yeah,
So I ain't that that was a
No,
battery
that
or
the phones
software.
hadn't had that yet, I don't know.
yeah,
Well, I think after a while, they start even some of the towers are only gonna do certain things
Mhm.
because the towers now are 5G. The first phones wouldn't do that.
yeah.
Well, the name of the game now is make something that don't last.
Well, yeah.
So you could buy another one.
Well, that's
And and
appliances.
and also add a maintenance contract to it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
big.
appliances, that's everything.
That's
Yeah.
everything.
Phones, make it disposable so that it's
So you gotta
reduced.
come back.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. You know it.
Well, before we get to the end of the show, welcome to the other 167.
Oh, is it
Um,
about time to go?
yep, it's about
Yeah, it
time to get
is.
started, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So we're kind of talking about that a little bit, and it kind of plays in with sort of my day right now. Jesus has an interesting balance in the way he. I mean, you can just I don't want to say contrast. It's not that Jesus is changing, but the way he handles different situations, you can see him incredibly humble and incredibly just gentle and patient with the way he handles things. Or you can see times where he is very direct and to the point, and he handles what needs to be
Mhm.
handled, and he doesn't beat around the bush with it. And I think it's one of our challenges in life is finding when we are supposed to be each side of that. You know, I mean, I think I've had something this week that's just tag on it. I'm trying to be gracious and kind and gentle and all these types of things, but there also comes a point where it's like, no, sometimes you got to tell the truth and you got to speak up and say what needs to be said, and it might not be comfortable always, but you can do you being a Christian doesn't mean just rolling over
That's exactly right.
and you know letting not taking any control over a situation. Sometimes you got to step up and into a
No, yeah, it
situation and
doesn't
say we
mean
got to
you're
handle
just,
this, you know.
milquetoast.
And but it's tough to figure out how and when to do that. And I don't know, that's something I've really I'm about out of grace in it with a situation right here. And it's like, no, you can't ever run out of grace, but sometimes you kind of need to have a little bit of force in the way you handle stuff.
You jump on that one first.
I don't know what to jump on. I'm not sure,
What would Kenny do?
I would
That way I'll know what
well,
not to do.
Yeah.
I
Serious.
would stay in prayer on, because I've had to, because I've been there where hard to forgive somebody or whatever, and I've had to
Mm,
constantly pray for that person, and eventually, this is my experience, eventually, I come out to where it doesn't bother me anymore. But but then again, sometimes, you feel like people are taking advantage of you
mhm.
because and um there's like you don't wanna be taken advantage of, but you wanna show grace, and where's the balance?
Yeah.
But I think it's okay to be honest with somebody
Yeah.
that you don't well, "I don't like this that you're doing, and it causes me this is what it's caused me."
Yep.
And I think, sometimes you gotta be honest, and you should be honest. I don't know if that explained really what your
Well, I mean, and
'cause I don't know what your situation is.
yeah, I mean, and I would
But no, I think you did it, yeah.
I don't know if the
Think okay.
situation's
Did I
something.
pass?
That's check mark.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know if the
Will you
situation's
text me
something
with
that
the big check? I like the with nothing on it, just because I like to see the big check.
Check. There you go.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't think the listeners or viewers or even you guys necessarily care about the whole situation. It ain't something like needs to be, dove deep into, but I'll tell y'all later. But it's a group of people basically, and you've got one in the group that's just kind of causing problems for the rest. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's like, all right, do we just out of grace let this person continue to sink the ship and cause problems for everybody else? Or does somebody mention that this isn't okay and try to, and then how do you do that with grace? And it's
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Mm.
it's I part of me wants to tell because it's just funny in a way, the way it's kind of played itself out, but it's frustrating too. I'm like half this morning was just a really interesting. I'm halfway really, really excited and halfway want to rip somebody's throat out. And they're like very mutual feelings at the same time. But it's like, you know, wanting to be kind, but at the same time, then you try to show that kindness or you take that one extra breath to make sure you don't say what what you wanna say, you say it a little bit more graciously, and then they come back and snap at you, and now you really wanna come
Yeah,
across the
now
table, you know what I
now
mean? Like
that's all.
When you say gracefully, what do you mean? How are you saying it? Like, in a calm voice?
so
Because
then
usually people are kinda soften.
Without
Yes.
calling them out, I would assume that's what he's talking about, without
well, it
just
was
being in your face.
somebody was supposed to have done something or has been supposed to do something for a long time, and we've been waiting around and waiting around, waiting around, and it became obvious that they weren't gonna
Yeah.
do it. So the rest of us, or a couple of us, kinda got together and said, "I think we're gonna have to figure out how to do this on our own."
Yeah, we're just gonna
So
go
we
ahead and
did.
bypass it.
We didn't say anything to them or cause a stink or anything. We just did it, and then let them know, "Hey, we took care of this.
Yeah,
Just wanted to let you know it's off your plate."
yep. Don't
Let
worry about it, we got it.
yeah, and then they'd come back with, "Well, you didn't do it right, and
Oh,
that's not what I thought you were gonna do. You should have done it this way." And then when we came back and said, "Well, what did we do wrong?" They don't respond,
Yeah,
mhm.
and it's
and
just
that's
like,
just somebody who's upset,
"All right,"
Yeah.
and
Th
you know,
their pride's been hurt.
and we haven't said anything to, like, call it out and say, "Well, we did this because you didn't do it,"
Right, right.
or "Why haven't you done it?" We try to be as patient as we can be with our
no,
communication
I
with
think
them.
sooner or later it does have to, if they keep on with that, it needs to
Yeah,
be, "Dude, we waited for 6 months for you to do this,
right, yeah,
and sorry, but we had to roll, and
yeah,
we can't I've had to say this to some folks before. You're a nickel holding up a dollar,
that's it.
and we got to roll. Even if you don't like the way the dollar rolls now,
Yeah.
you're the nickel, and we can't stop.
Well, and
You're slowing up progress.
And it's I use the analogy, it's kinda like imagine you buy a house with 4 or 5 people or a property or something, and one person is the only one who's got a key to it.
Or
And we're the rest of us are ready to move,
or
and
to sign the document.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah,
And you just got this one tiny little thing that's holding everything up, and it's like, we can't
yeah.
I'm sorry, I ain't trying to be mean, but at some point, somebody's gotta do something about this or, you know
And I think a lot of times in a situation like that, and I think, borrowing from Kenny, Kenny was exactly right the way you handle it. I think you speak the truth in love at
That's 2
times.
nice things. You
Yeah, I'm being very kind today. I got a lot of sleep last night. You
supposed to
speak
be
the truth
praying
in
today.
love, if at all possible, be at peace with all men.
Yeah.
As far as it depends on you, sometimes that does not work out that way. I think there are times when you have to, if somebody's not doing their job, okay, why aren't they doing their job? And be sympathetic for when it needs sympathy,
Mhm,
but also it may be they're just lazy or they hadn't done it.
mhm,
And if that's the case, I think that's when you see Jesus. I think when you see Jesus rebuking the most and rebuking whoever he's going to rebuke, whether it's religious leaders, Peter, or someone else. It was usually, "Okay, you should have known this.
mhm,
This is something that this is not hard stuff, or you knew to do this,
mhm,
and they didn't." I don't know that I would call it a rebuke when he talks to Nicodemus and he says, "And you're a teacher in Israel,
mhm,
and
yeah,
you don't know this?"
yeah,
I don't know if that's so much a rebuke as much as it is of, "Come on, man, you really should catch." I don't think it's that way as much as it is when he tells Peter, "If I don't wash your feet, you ain't got nothing to do with that."
mhm,
Or, "I'm not gonna let that happen, Jesus. You're not going to the cross. Well, get thee behind me, Satan."
mhm,
That's a pretty strong rebuke.
yeah,
That's you being a puppet of Satan right now.
yeah,
That's strong.
yeah.
Okay, so it's when they do something that is totally, and again, I think circumstances dictate. Sometimes you just have to. And again, not being ugly, not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but speaking the truth in love is crucial.
Mhm.
And you can do it by just saying, "Well, man, we waited for 6 months,
Yeah.
or we waited for a certain amount of time, and you never did it." And so don't just either, "Hey, right now we just gotta move forward."
Someone accused me of being passive aggressive one time, and I said, "Let me be clear. If you think I'm being passive aggressive, then I have miscommunicated because there ain't
Right.
nothing passive
No,
about what
I'm
I'm
not trying to
saying.
be passive. I'm
I'm
trying to be
I'm
aggressive.
I'm being aggressive.
Yeah.
I've never been one to be. I, I, I I don't. I'm sure I've got the ability to be passive aggressive. I think we all do.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, I just tend to take more of the maybe a more aggressive than I have to be approach. So I'm trying to balance that a little bit and say, okay, there's yes, they're speaking the truth, but you don't always have to speak the entire truth. I mean, sometimes you can go out of your way and say things that aren't necessary
Yeah, that's
and
it.
hurt people.
And pile on way more than it needs to be piled
Right.
on.
Even though it's the truth.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like at some point or another, you just gotta call you gotta call the truth what it is
Yeah.
and try to be as kind as you can be about it. And then when they don't handle it the way when they come back at you with something, then you have to again do just
Yeah.
rinse and repeat the same thing. Now you still got to be gracious back and but still honest back.
And I think oftentimes where I get into sometimes a mixture or a mess is I associate the problem and the person as the same thing.
Mhm.
And you really almost have to separate the 2
Yeah.
and be willing to address the problem. "Hey, look, this is where it messed up." Whether that's your fault or anything else. And so I sometimes tend to make it that it becomes personal,
Yeah.
where I really should be addressing the problem, but instead it's almost and sometimes look, the problem is the person.
Yeah.
And I get that, but I think there's a way to do it without it being seeming as a personal attack or something like that. And that's where oftentimes is the
Mhm.
hard part.
Well, and I completely agree with that. And there's a flip side of that too that I think that I would say a gift of mine, or at least a personality trait of mine, is the ability to disconnect the situation from the person
So,
and to be able to say, okay, totally fine with you as a person.
right.
Hate this situation. Can't tolerate this situation. Whatever. Still,
Still love you.
still love you. Can still be your friend, but
Huh.
I'm gonna handle this first, and we can still be friends. I can be friends with somebody that I'm mad at something that they've done, and still be. I mean, I've had friends that we were about to come to fists over stuff, and then 5 minutes later, we're patting each other on the back and laughing about it.
That's dudes.
But at the same time, sometimes the other person may not have that ability. I'm saying I'm mad at the situation, still cool with you, but because you're tied to that
Yeah.
situation, now you think it's a personal attack at
Because
you
you're the one that dropped the
because
ball.
you're the one who dropped the
That's
ball.
right. Now
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 you
it
think
seems like I'm attacking
you've
you.
made it personal that I acknowledge your mistake.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And sometimes it can swing both ways.
People get offensive. Um,
That's when you pretend that you didn't know they were supposed to do it. Well, whoever was supposed to turn it in,
For saying that passive aggressive. Yeah.
Well, whoever was supposed to turn it in, that's who, man, they should have done that 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
No,
tough.
but I think there are times I think you're exactly right. Jesus never calls us to just roll over and take whatever somebody throws at us. At the same time, he does call us to turn the other cheek, and I think he does call us to operate in forgiveness
Mhm.
and mercy. But then there are times when I mean, like I said, this don't sound like mercy and grace and milk toast to me when he says, "You brood of vipers, get thee behind me, Satan." You have no part of me. I mean, that don't sound like a nice, kind, friendly. No, that sounds like no. That's an open rebuke that really hits right between the eyes.
Well, doesn't there's I'll misquote it slightly, but doesn't he say at some point, "Be shrewd as serpents, gentle as doves"?
Yep,
Am I getting that
wise as
right?
serpents,
Wise as
harmless
serpent,
as
yeah,
doves. Yep.
harmless as doves. That's a really, really challenging verse when you really think about it. It's really easy to be as gentle as a dove,
Hmm.
even as hard as it might be in some situations. If I know that I am always called to be gentle as a dove, then I understand that in every situation I have to roll over and take it, and I have to be gentle. If you tell me to always be wise as serpents, I know that I always need to have one eye open in every
Hmm.
situation.
Right.
But when you tell me to
Well,
be both at the same time, now we've got a challenge on my hands
Right.
because now I don't know when to be which. And really, it's not even,
Yeah.
he doesn't say be one or the other, it's be both at the same time.
yeah,
That's hard to do.
being
Yep.
It
cautious.
feels like telling somebody to be hot and cold at the same time. They seem like opposites.
Yeah, and I
What am
don't
I supposed
I
to do?
don't
Put my
know
feet
I
in
don't
the
know that they are opposites though.
I know,
I
yeah,
think but
We
in
think of
our
it because of
mind
the
they are.
viper and the
Yeah.
dove.
yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. In our mind, I don't think he means it
No,
as
no.
opposites. I think he means you can and should be both at the same time.
Be cautious and kind.
Cautiously
Always
kind.
have always be cautious.
I think that's a good way of putting it.
Cautiously kind. I
Cautiously
like
kind.
that.
I think that's
Man,
Man,
you're
you're
on a
on a
roll
roll
today,
today.
man.
I'm telling you, man. I
well,
think you really
I
ought
just
to.
need one more, that'd be poor stuff.
It'd be your record.
Mama called me this morning while you're looking that up. Mama called me this
No,
morning.
I was
She
just
said, "I'm."
trying to look and remember exact. I
It's in
was gonna
Matthew.
say, I know it's
Yeah.
in,
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's towards where he's talking about persecution and being thrown out of the synagogue and things like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's in Matthew 9, 10, 11. That's early. Uh, how about you talking about the,
I got a machine. Matthew 9, 10, 11, 12,
Probably 10
13.
10?
instructions for
I
service.
thought it was much later, and I may be wrong.
Well, that would be the first time, but
Yeah, here it is. 10:16. Matthew
Look
10:16.
at you.
man.
Behold, I send you out as sheep amidst the wolves. Be shrewd as serpents and
There
innocent
you
as
go.
doves.
And so what I was wanting to say is, all right, what is the context there? Because that does kind of play into it. And that context is, I'm sending you out into the world to be my witnesses. You're going to face persecution. You're going to face accusations. You're going to face things that may not go the way you want them. And when you do, all right, that's when you are wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
Mhm.
And exactly how does that show itself? I think it's just each situation is going to kind of weigh that out.
Yeah.
What verse is that?
Matthew 10:16.
All right, I'll memorize that now.
Yeah. I never connected
think
that
so.
one as being, I mean, behold, I send you out as sheep amidst wolves is a very famous verse. And then I'm sitting here trying to figure out where is that be shrewd as serpents, gentle as doves is the second half of that verse. There
Yeah,
you go. Learn something.
you're basically going to go before the governors. You're going to go
Mhm.
before the Gentiles. Brother will betray brother. I mean, it is a ugly picture of what can face the child of God or the obedient child of God as you go into the world, and that's where I think he's the real gist is. All right, so this is having to deal with how we act towards outsiders too,
Mhm.
towards the lost. And I think that also is let your speech be seasoned with salt. Let every action you do be a reflection of me. Those type of things. So I don't know that necessarily correcting someone is not being like Christ.
Yeah.
I think it's just how we go about doing it and using the speech that's seasoned with salt and measured with grace.
Well, in the end of that passage is when they hand you over, do not worry about how or what you are to say, for it will be given you in that hour what to say, for it is not you who speak, but it is the Spirit of the Father who speaks in you. So it kind of goes back to that walking by the Spirit. If you're walking by the Spirit,
Hmm.
he'll trust him to guide you through the situations instead of worrying your little head over what you're going to do or what you.
Well, got
I,
to say,
I think I've told you before. I've caught myself. We've talked about it before. Catch yourself going ahead and planning what you're gonna say if this person says what you think they
oh
might say,
yeah, that's
and
why you're talking to
yeah,
them.
that's right. It's like, wait till they say this. I know
Yeah,
exactly what I'm
yeah.
gonna say
Oh,
back.
man, that's perfect lawnmower,
Yeah.
cutting grass, time. That's
Now
when you have conversations from the past. I'm still having conversations 5, 6, 7 years later, and it's
yeah,
like, "Why? Why?"
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having some that aren't gonna take place till next year, right? But I'm already planning them. And those are some of the ones that I felt the Lord kind of speak to me on and say, why don't you let them say that first
Yeah,
before you figure out
or
what you're gonna say back?
yep,
You don't know what's gonna
you
happen
don't know the
next,
future.
you
Well,
know?
I think he's not telling us not to prepare ourselves. I think what he's really saying, don't worry about it.
Well, that's the biggest part of it.
Yeah, I think it's don't worry about what you're gonna say.
Were you hearing
If
us
you
to say, "Don't prepare"?
No, I was just hearing that, that I was hearing that you weren't, when I was
Equipped?
yeah, yeah, that's
'Cause you are equipped,
yeah, you're equipped because you've been reading the Bible for 30 years.
or you also
So
have the Holy Spirit
so
in you, so both of them.
yes, and so I think the big thing is just don't worry about it. When time comes, you'll know what to say.
Yeah, and I
I
think
mean,
I
I've
think
had
a
that
lot of it too is
we've had that in our lives all the
right,
time. Yeah.
and I think how you handle the situation, I think that really has a lot to do with it is be wise as serpent,
Mm,
harmless as doves, is think about every action you do
mm.
has an impact on somebody, and sometimes you may not even think it does, but it can push somebody towards or somebody closer to the kingdom
And everything we do
or away from.
everything we do for is affect somebody else, pretty much. You can be late for work. That'll affect somebody
Yep.
because somebody might be trying to call or
I've heard
somebody
it said, "No
yeah,
man's an island."
right. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, that's not in the Bible, by the way. That's a famous quote. I don't know where from.
Yeah.
What book?
Island.
The man is an island.
It's not in the Bible.
It's not the Bible.
I know.
No.
Well, you're
What
saying what book?
book's it from?
I thought you meant book
Yeah.
of the Bible. So, I
No.
don't know.
All right.
I only read the
Your
Bible
homework
quotes.
is
I
to find
yeah.
that, and I'll tell you right
I
now.
quote from the Bible, not from other books.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're not a
Yes.
well-read man.
Well, I'm well inspired.
I got you. It's okay to read other books.
No, I do.
I know you do. You're like a dadgum bookworm. Library.
No. Don't. I'm not the person that reads novels. I like to read
No.
nonfiction.
Well, I'll say
I'm so boring in my reading.
the Bible is just about the only thing that I read because I don't like to read.
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone about that the other day.
I would say, but you're on the computer a lot. That's reading.
Mm,
But what are you reading?
You
That's not
scan.
reading a story or a
You might
theology or
well,
something.
you can research something. I mean, I'm just saying I do that.
yeah,
Research or
I do something. I'm on
Emails do not count. That's high literature. But no,
our group text does not count as reading.
Yeah.
Any.
For me, my reading is probably some. I sit back and I thought as we were talking. I don't know that I've ever, since high school or college, I don't know that I've read a fiction book or a story book. I've read biographies,
yes,
plenty of biographies, because I love reading about men of God or women of God that have been used.
or something that's true.
And I love reading theology, or like right now, I've got two books that I'm almost ready to recommend both of them. The first one is The Crucified Life by Tozer, A.W. Tozer. And there's some things in there I'm not quite up on that I don't know if I agree wholeheartedly with, but it is a very fascinating read,
Well,
and I love it.
who are you going to recommend them to?
I recommend them all the time.
I mean, you got somebody in mind?
No, if just somebody asks,
Oh, like
what's some
in a
good books you
sermon.
read?
Oh,
Yeah.
I recommend y'all read this or whatever.
Yeah, or you
got
might hear it touched upon in a sermon that, there's some things that, because you are influenced as you read, especially theology books and the scriptures, it influences you and the way you
Absolutely.
think and the way you act and the way, and so, yeah, you're a product of all the meditation and reading and the Lord working in you, of all that.
So this is going way off.
Be well read.
What was
Is my
reading?
challenge.
I was reading a book. I can't remember. I still have it at home, but he was right on everything. That, as far as I could tell.
Mhm.
I mean, salvation, grace, and everything. Then he got into this, and I don't hear much about it anymore. Was it that scientific method? You know, uh, computer pick up words and says like bullshit will or
Oh, yeah, it starts
well, what's that called?
substituting,
That
counting words, everything else. Is
and
that what you're talking about?
yeah, I used to kind of well, that's good, but I don't think so because
Yeah.
it really is. They're doing it based on a translation.
So,
It was
I think that's
scientific
called
method, was
I think it's called the Bible Code.
yeah.
It came
Is that
out
what
about
you know what I'm talking about?
it was about it honestly was every bit of 20 years ago.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had to be a long time.
And what it was
And it
was
was like
taking this word, every third word, every fourth word, every this, that, and other, and this would didn't mean this, and then, it's kinda
they
like,
come up with a sentence.
do you know, you know who
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus.
Yeah.
I don't wanna say something bad. Nostradamus is. I mean, it's easy to take some mess he wrote 2,000 years ago or
And
that
apply.
1,500 and say, "Oh, see, he's
Yeah.
talking about this."
Yeah.
Well, he might not, I mean,
Yeah.
and I think that's what a lot of it is of that biblical code is, "Oh, see, they're talking about Kennedy here."
Yeah.
I don't know that that is exactly
Yeah.
I
what's
don't
going
think
on there.
I don't think the word of God is to be hidden.
No, and I don't
Uh,
think that it's getting to
the
Kennedy and what this
Yeah,
is and that is, and
I mean, I thought
November
about it.
5th,
Well,
'63.
that is interesting. I thought, and I kind of wanted to believe it, but then there was just too much against it,
Well, that's it.
and it was
Well, my response to it, because I remember being asked when it came out, my response is, "Look, I have a hard enough time reading it as it is and understanding it. I don't need to start deleting every fourth letter and looking at this.
Yeah.
I said, let me get it this way first, then I'll start looking at
Well,
the other.
I don't think the word of God is to be hidden. It's to be
No,
read.
no,
Or
I don't.
these secret
That was
messages.
about, and as you find out, you don't hear about it anymore, do
No,
you?
you don't.
Yeah,
That's really why I brought it up, because I haven't heard that in a
yeah.
long, long
But I do remember that.
Well, I have a feeling
I do not recommend it.
yeah. I don't even that's a heresy.
I have a feeling that when we get to heaven and everything's revealed to us, that we will have light bulbs go off and we'll realize,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
there was an awful
Oh,
lot that we didn't understand about the Bible. But I don't think it'll be up. It was in this code. I think it'll be one of these things that was hiding in plain sight, but we
Yes,
just couldn't see it.
that's
No,
it.
we
like
didn't
That's it.
just
think that
like
way.
the,
Well, Jesus saying, "I'm
crucifixion.
going to come back from the dead," and they were all confused by it. It
That's
could
right.
not have been more point
That's
blank
it.
simple than that.
Well,
But
And I hate to be that guy, but I am not one of these guys that, okay, every time the Bible mentions this word, it means this, this, and this.
yeah,
Well, why can't that word mean that? And why's it got to mean something else? And I know Jesus talked oftentimes the grapevine was Israel. That's not argued. But there are sometimes that it's like, okay, anytime you see water in the Bible, it means this, and you have to be careful with that. And I
yeah,
know I've kind of sometimes might mention it, but I try my best not. I want to let the text be the text
hmm
and not borrow from or try to read into it that, okay, that means this. And what happens is, though, when you get into, I don't know, a revelation,
hmm
then you begin to see, okay, maybe he is writing in something that this stands for that, but it may not always be that.
yeah,
So I always just say, all right, as I read Revelation, what I'm keeping in mind is, okay, what's being revealed?
hmm
And if you look, it is the revelation of Jesus Christ. It is the apocalypso of Jesus
mhm,
Christ is and so really it's the revelation of Christ. So I'm looking for Christ, not, okay, this world event, this world leader,
yeah,
this, and it's in there, but at the same time, I don't know that that's the theme that I can be able to say, oh, it's going to be on this date and then this is going to happen. I'm more in, okay, so I see who Christ
yeah,
is
right.
and that he has won.
yeah,
I think Revelations is the one that really takes people down to the,
Oh, down the rabbit hole of
yeah, and I think the purpose of the and I could be wrong, but I think one of the main purposes of Revelation is not to tell us what was happening, but the end, the last few chapters.
mhm.
You win.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the mark of the beast, everybody's, I think how many presidents been,
Uh,
Antichrist.
and, 666, Ronald Wilson Reagan.
Yeah,
I remember that. His
yeah.
name was Ronald Wilson Reagan,
I don't even know how they
666.
come up with. I don't even know what the
See,
numerology or whatever is to figure out what that.
nobody knows.
Well,
That
man, it's six is a symbol of
I know what the
man,
666 means. But
but
I
is
don't
that
know
gonna
how
be
they.
an actual six? I mean, I think
But
that's where
how did somebody get 666 out of Ronald Wilson Reagan?
because his Ronald is 6, Wilson is 6,
Number
Reagan
of
is
letters.
6.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But isn't it also like there's a way that like each letter counts as a certain value, and that, 'cause that
See, you can
and that's what I think you
that's
can
what I'm
take
saying
numbers
is
and turn it into anything you want it to be.
just like Nostradamus.
Yeah.
He's talking about a man will be riding on a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be Kennedy riding in a
Yeah.
Ford.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was it a Ford?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out.
Uh,
And the sun is shining on him. Ah, see, he's got a convertible. know.
it's just, we try to, I don't think there's a whole lot of growth, at least it wouldn't be for me, just to study prophecy. I know there's a lot of people that like to do that
Right.
as
I,
a
I
hobby.
think it can be.
I don't know. I mean,
I, I
I don't,
mean,
when I'm talking about prophecy, what's gonna happen,
yeah.
I spend all my
Or
time in
trying
Revelation.
to spell out,
I'm
make
more
charts
into
and all this. I
uh,
mean, because Revelation does come with a promise
yes, yes,
that the reader of this will be blessed.
mhm.
That's a promise.
Yeah,
And
I am
again,
very blessed when I read those
yes.
last few chapters.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, but
yeah,
you
there
said
is,
something. You
because
said
there's a lot
something.
going on.
You said something Sunday that I think is it ties right into what you just said there. You aren't blessed by knowing the Bible, you're blessed by doing what the Bible says, or that's
Yep.
how I
That's
paraphrase it in
it.
my notes.
Yep.
And I think that's an important thing is that if, yes, could there be some really cool deep things that you might discover in the Bible? Absolutely, I'm sure there
Excellent.
are.
Yes.
But I think that one of those hiding in plain sight kind of things. I think the main thing, overall theme is that you'll be blessed if you follow the
You
big
apply
things.
it.
Love your
Yep.
neighbor, love
Yeah.
God, love your neighbor.
You
Those,
be content too, I
yeah,
would say.
yeah.
You can lay down and go to sleep and rest.
Yep.
And
Being,
Well, Jesus said, "This is the blessed life." Knowing this,
it's
you
not
can know
easy
the
life,
blessed life, and then he says, "But you gotta do it."
I've heard
And
you,
it's available. It's just you gotta walk
but
in it.
but it's not easy
No, but it's available.
because we're f so f
Yep.
I think you said it the best, I don't that you're a flawed pastor.
Yes,
But but it's not I mean, it's a mo I admire you saying that in front of people, but we're all
yeah,
flawed.
we're all,
We're
every
all
last one of
broken.
us.
We all need help.
Sunday, or Saturday after after Steve talked, I'd shared a little something that the
That's when it
Lord laid on my
was.
heart
Yeah.
with the men that, hey, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, that's
I think too many times we, 2:40, that was, I've got a 3 o'clock meeting. Too many times we do put
time
forward
we
such a face that, okay, I got all my stuff together.
mhm.
And we do that, and it's okay not to be okay, and let's be honest, and let's admit that, hey, we all hurt.
Well,
We all
and
struggle.
I'm having a good time. Can we move that appointment to 4?
I better not, I better not.
another thing that we've talked about this before, and you've preached on it before, but it's you can read Matthew 5 or 6, think 5.
Mhm.
Um, blessed are the humble,
Yep,
basically,
Matthew
right?
5,
Okay.
Sermon on the Mount.
So you can take that, and I think the way I understood it to begin with was if you will be humble, then you will be blessed, almost like a you do this and then you'll be blessed in return for it.
Okay.
And what I've learned is that being humble, being meek, being these things is actually the blessing in itself.
Mhm.
Humble people don't worry about things as much.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Humble people trust God much
Humble
easier.
servants don't have to compete.
That's right.
A
That's
and
right.
and when you look at sports stars, doesn't it just somebody that's talking about themselves all the time, doesn't it just leave a bad taste in your mouth?
Sure.
And that other guy said, "We were just lucky,
Or,
we
"Hey,
played as
my
hard as we could."
team, these guys do great." It's never about himself.
Yeah. Those are
I
good.
love
I like that
those.
those. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just pride just looks
Well, and it's because
it just looks bad.
yeah, it looks bad to other people, but it's also the hidden part of that that can be really hard to get to is how much pride destroys you from the inside,
Yes.
because it's pride
Mhm.
that makes you angry every time something doesn't go your way.
That's right.
I
Or
I
you
People
don't
that
get recognized.
think that they when you set your level of entitlement to a 9.9, this is what I'm expected to get,
Right.
and you get a 9 point you've got now 9.8 points of, that it could fall on that's gonna make you mad, and only 1 that's gonna make you happy,
That's
right?
right.
When you
That's right.
set your expectations at a 2, then there's a good chance that things are gonna be better than you expected, right?
When you realize I'm not trying to please somebody, or if they don't recognize it or not, I
Yeah,
think that's where the freedom comes in is, okay, if nobody knows this or appreciates it, I did it for the Lord and the Lord told me to do it,
yeah,
I can move on. I
yeah.
think that was the thing that freed me up so much that, all I was called to be, whether it's at Baptist Grove or at teaching a Sunday school class, be obedient to what I've told you to be.
yeah,
If it reaches 1,500 people, great. If it don't reach but 15, as long as you're being obedient as a humble servant,
yeah,
I can walk away saying, "I did exactly what I was supposed to do." And it does not bother you if the next pastor comes in and is better. But doggone it, that's
Mhm.
where we in our flesh begin to say, "Wait a minute, well, I had this reason, or I had this against me," and you wanna compare yourself to everybody. I'm so glad I don't have, because what if I got to compare with others? There's a lot better people that can speak better than I can. I know that sounded terrible. That was terrible English. I know I have terrible English.
Oh,
I know there are some theologians that can outthink me under the table. I but all I'm called to be is be faithful
yeah,
to what God's called me to be and what He's equipped me to be. Now, does that mean I just stay where I'm at? No, I wanna get better.
mhm,
I wanna study more. I wanna study to show myself approved. But whether I'm at a church with 20 people or a church with 20,000 people, don't judge based on that. Judge on, okay, is he being faithful?
Yeah.
And that's what the Lord's going to judge on. So that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
There you go. That's your sermon for next week.
That was my sermon last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
well,
This
add
week,
to it. Part two.
this week is communion,
Yeah.
and I am leaning towards a passage that I don't know. I may change. I'm glad I've got time because I don't have to speak Wednesday night and everything else. So I've really haven't even really started diving deep into what we want to do in communion, other than I think it's going to be Hebrews 2. And it says this, for this reason, we must pay much closer attention to what we have heard so that we do not drift away from it.
Hebrews 2 what?
For if the word spoken through angels proved unalterable, and every violation and act of disobedience received a just punishment, how will we escape if we neglect so great a salvation?
Wow.
Hebrews 2, 1 through 3. And I think my 2 points is going to be, all right, are you growing or are you drifting? Because communion's a time to examine your life. Are you growing towards Christ or are you drifting away from Christ? This is a time to examine. Number 2, are you, and the other one is neglecting. So I got to come up with the opposite of neglecting. Or are you cherishing or are you neglecting? And are you giving yourself to seeking the Lord, or are you neglecting it and neglecting such a great salvation? So I think that's going to be the 2 points. And really it's going to be a time of examination, soul searching, and making sure that that we are ready for communion, but also, man, just think about this great salvation and what we've been given. So that's it. So
Pretty good.
Either
Did
that,
you say 2 or 1? 2.
Hebrews chapter 2,
Okay,
and then
I turned
dot
2, but I was looking over here and couldn't find what you.
dot 1 and 2,
Okay.
and then it's either they're going to be that one or it's going to be Colossians. And Colossians chapter 2.
What is Colossians chapter 2?
Colossians chapter 2 is a good one, verses 23 and 24.
Oh, okay. Is that the
Well, it deals more with what communion's about, salvation and
we
the
are
sacrifice.
Christ?
No, what Christ did.
Oh, okay. Well,
We're at about an hour, and if you've got a meeting at 3, we might not want to get wound back.
No.
Because
Plus, I need to run and take care of some business before that meeting.
All
That
right.
meeting's going to be a long one.
All right.
I'm just going to stay here if you can.
Okay.
Come on, you can go in my office. I got a bunch.
And he's got another 1,000 calories,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Goodbar, to you. So.
It's this diet he's on, man. It's amazing to me. It's called to eat everything and still lose weight.
I have.
What'd you do? Reset your metabolism?
I don't know. I've dropped over 10 pounds, but I'm not really trying to. That's the thing. I'm just believing.
Man, your faith is great.
Believing.
That's awesome.
Love you, man. Love you guys.
I don't know if we got enough Kenny on the screen. Hold on.
I think we need some more with these.
I'm going to have to edit that.
That's not bad.
But hey, I got an email.
Preacher says so, then fine.
Tell me, edit that. But that is.